Welcome to drizzly, muddy, rainy Tennessee. We don't get a whole lot of snow in the winter, but we get inches and inches of mud. So as you can see over there where the cows have been tromping, it's a mud pit. I've got some wood chips in here, so I got a somewhat dry place for the cows. So today I'm going to give the cows hay. Not that they need hay right now, but I'm one of those guys that's unfortunate or fortunate, I'm not sure which, that has to work for a living. And I work from 6 a.m. to 7, the other way around. I work from 7 to 6. And so I don't have a whole lot of time to give them hay throughout the week, so I'm going to take the opportunity right now to give them hay. Then I'm going to go feed my pigs and show you where I have the pigs in about 3 acres of woods, and show you my half-built or quarter-built root cellar and where my pole barn's going and all that type of stuff. So that's what's going on this Sunday afternoon on the homestead. This is my milk cow Cookie. Unfortunately, she's not a huge milk producer, so we'll probably have to sell her. She's going to have a calf in probably around March, and so when she's good and fresh, she gives a decent amount of milk, but she just tapers off pretty quick. And that one over there is the milk cow that replaced her, and she wasn't fresh in when I got her. She was, but her calf was already about 4 months old. So I don't know. She might give better milk next time, but she gives decent milk. And then I've got my other cows up there giving me the stare down and their calves. And those are just for beef cows, but I'll probably sell all of them in the spring. I had up to 9 mama cows, and I'm down to 4 now. And there's a 2-year-old steer in here somewhere. These cows have about 15, 10. Well, my father-in-law's got about 6 acres my cows can go on, and my brother-in-law's got about 8 acres they go on. But my brother-in-law's going to run some cows on his, so I'm just going to downsize down to 2, keep 1 or 2 milk cows, and use their calves for beef. Even though it's a mud mess around here, they've got a somewhat less muddy place in here. I put quite a few wood chips in here, and now that's actually a pile that's flattened the wood chips, but I can still get clean wood chips and add them on top of these. Then I'll get some more in several weeks here and add on top of it. This hay is wrapped with a plastic netting, which does a better job wrapping hay than string does. But I prefer the hemp twine, because I store my hay inside anyway. The netting helps your water from penetrating as much because it's a tighter seal on the outside. But I like the hemp string because it's biodegradable and you can burn it, whatnot. It'll rot if you just throw it in a pile outside. Come on, cow. But my wife's uncle who baled it for me, his does net wrap. So that's what I've got. I'm almost out of hay. I've only got 2 more bales, which will be enough to get me another 2 weeks. Well, 3 bales, nearly 3 weeks, I guess. I get almost a week per bale. But the same uncle that bales my hay for me also sells hay, so I'm good on that account too. cows came down to investigate. That one with the horns over there, she was born just down the road here. It was my wife's grandpa's cow, or calf. And so then this one is her daughter, and she's 2 years old. Well, yeah, she's 2 years old. But she has a calf. She accidentally got bred early. And that little baby right there is her calf. It's the cutest little baby. It's actually older than she looks. She's like over 2 months old already. Still so tiny. It's a very tiny baby coming from a young heifer. These cows haven't had minerals in a while. They've been lax on that. And give them some minerals. Don't have very much. They have a protein tub right there, and it's almost empty. So I just add the minerals into there. But they'll go crazy over that. It's been well over a month since they've had it. So the minerals I give them is almost all minerals with a little bit of salt. So the salt content, well, I say a little bit, it says 20 to 24% salt. But if you get what's the trace minerals, the bags are like, this is like $14-15, and the trace minerals will be like $7. And that's what I used to get, and that's what I know what a lot of people get. They think they're giving their cows minerals, but if you look on it, it's less than 1% minerals. It's like 99.5% salt. So you're really not giving your cows any minerals. I mean, they're not lying. It says trace minerals. Here comes Big Mama. She's the one with the horns there, she's 3 or 4 years old. Actually, none of these cows have names except for the Cookie. I don't even have a name for our other milk cow. That one right there is a 2-year-old steer that we're going to slaughter here in several weeks. Me and my brother-in-law have actually slaughtered 2 of them this winter already. I don't know how it is on camera, but I quite enjoy just standing here watching them eat. It's so relaxing. This lean-to that you see here, nothing fancy. It's 32 feet deep and with 2 20-foot bays, so 40 by 32. And I actually built it for under $1,000. I think it was $700. I bought all my posts that were like damaged or crooked from a lumber supply. My metal is all used and odds and end colors, rainbow metal. I traded a pig for it. And my rafters in there are just trees that I cut out of the woods. And here there was a bunch of live edge pine slabs that my father-in-law had that should have been burned actually. But that was before I had my sawmill, and that's what I had available. So I went ahead and used them. Always makes me nervous when we get 5-6 inches of snow. That's why I put these, I had to splice them. That's why I put those knee braces there. I don't know how much good they'll do. It's on a 2x6. It's got a shelf behind it. I'm sure it does a little bit of good. But I did it this is the 3rd winter the cows are in here, so far it's held up almost 3 winters. And that over on that side is supposed to be a chute. But my tractor caught that post here a couple weeks ago and ripped it out. And I put a homemade head gate in there, but never really used it more than once or twice. My uncle has nice cattle working equipment, so if I ever do need to work them, I just lock them in here, load them in a trailer, and take them over a quarter mile down the road and put it into his facility. So much easier. I just wasted a bunch of time doing that. I was gonna do this morning, make this video this morning and show me milking this cow here. So right now I'm only milking her once a day, just every morning before I go to work. So I've got a gate in the wire right over there. So I just come down in the mornings, open that gate, and she walks up to my house, and I've got a little milking stanchion right next to the house that I built temporarily. You know how that goes. Nearly 3 years ago, until I build my barn. And I'm just now starting to saw stuff for building my barn. But I'm gonna walk around now. I'm gonna feed the pigs and show you the 3 acres that I've got the pigs in. Show you my half-built root cellar and where I'm gonna be building my pole barn. So here's the cows. That's where I store my hay. And right here's the sawmill that you see all my sawmill videos from. And right across here is a scrap yard that I really need to clean up and get it hauled off so I can have it for my wood yard, because I really don't have any place for a wood yard right here. You know, we're all the roads here on ridges. That main road's on a ridge, all the side roads are on ridges. Then it just drops off. I don't know if you can really see it on camera here, but it just drops off on both sides. So you gotta make do with the space you got. There's supposed to be mama pig. I don't know when if she's bred. She's a year old now. They're all a year old. That one in the back there's the one we're gonna be butchering here. Probably February or March. Trying to let him get bigger. He's the smallest one, and he's the one I want to butcher. The one in the back is the boar. And of course it's a mud mess in there too. I do have them a shelter they can go in to be dry. Nasty. So I soak my corn. I had a bag of milk replacer for calves. Collapse this. And didn't get it all, didn't hardly use any of it, and the calf had died. This was a couple years ago. And so now I'm just putting milk replacer in with their corn for extra protein. But while the pigs are busy, I'm actually going to take this opportunity to walk around the perimeter here. I don't know if I took any footage or not, but this past fall, I actually cleared this fence. Like, it was a solid wall of brambles and grapevines and whatnot. You could not walk through here. So I cleared it, put 2-wire hot fence around it, and it's been doing a great job. This is the property line. All this wire and the next corner you'll see down here, all that's the property line. But none of this you could walk through. The pigs have actually done a lot in clearing this. So there's a corner of the line. And all down through here, I kind of made a path, and I did it all by hand. Well, I got smart and I actually took the tractor and bush hog as close as I could. But the fence itself was just solid brambles. Like down the bottom, it was a major mess. The neighbor here actually cleared, or not cleared, just had his place logged, and that should be an excellent place to turn pigs into. He may let me if I'd ask him, but I haven't asked him because I don't even have the time to fence that in if he would say I could. So my plan is, once you get down in here, you can see my house up top of the hill there, so you can kind of see how big a ravine this is. But once you're down in here, you can see this is not too bad. Well, not for Tennessee anyway, as far as being hilly. And I would love, this is about 3 acres going all the way up to the house there. I would love to go and clear this out and just leave a few small trees for shade and turn this into pasture for my cows and have them on my own place. Keep like one or two like mini jerseys and maybe a small Dexter bull. That's just a dream of mine. And then have my barn would be all the way up there in the top. That's where I'm fixing to build my barn. And the cows would go up there to be milked. I don't want to get zapped. This fence is extremely hot. I won't get zapped doing that though. think it's a 6-spool shocker, which maybe that's not considered extremely hot, but the way it pops when it browns out, which I don't hear it popping right now, so I may have left it unplugged. I do that sometimes. But regardless, if it's extremely hot or not, I don't want to get shocked. So I like to have a lane coming all the way through this fence, and then have paddocks going off. And with a one of the lanes going right up here to this little pond, it'll need some work too. But this is crazy in here. You can walk through a lot of this. There's still some brush, but there was no way you could walk through this, and the pigs have cleared all of this in just the 6 months they've been in here. And they were just half-grown piglets when they were put in here. They're maybe 75, 100 pounders. Now I'd say they're 250. Here's the little pond. I don't like how the pigs are destroying this dam. They're really tilling it up, and that's not good. So I need to get this worked on, get these pigs moved or fence this pond off or something. But this little pond, you can see that the water is like 4 feet from the top of the dam. I think that spillway just kind of washed out. So this pond could be a lot deeper, which would make it quite a bit bigger. See, there is some concrete left here, and that's the only thing somewhat saving the spillway. You can see all of that washed out real bad. It's like 4 or 5 feet deep. Fortunately, I'm lacking in time and money to do a lot of these projects. Well, let's walk on up the hill, and I'll show you some more stuff. Well, that was a big walk. This is where I want to put my pole barn. It'll be quite a bit of dirt work. I don't know how well it picks it up on here, but I gotta take this whole bank out, add a bunch of dirt down in here. I'm wanting to build my pole barn 36 by 36, so that's gonna be, you know, pretty tight in here. But the only level spot I have for it is up around the house up there. And I don't want to use that because I've only got like half an acre of nice usable land. That's not too steep to farm on, or to grow crops on anyway. And the chickens in the summer we keep them in the mobile coop, but in the winter a friend gave us that a couple of years ago. So we put them in here, and we have them up by the house to kind of help them get blocked in the wind on the cold days. And they just seem to do better if they have a warmer house in the winter. So this is one of our gardens, and these are our raised beds. And I'm actually going to burn that brush on here to add charcoal and wood ashes to the garden. I'll make a video about that later. And then here I've got just throwing slabs on there to burn as well. This is another garden spot, like our sweet corn patch. This year I'm actually gonna till up a whole bunch more of this. I'll probably eventually take down all these trees so they can all be usable land. We'll have plenty more trees down in the unusable land. I need this to be sunny and be able to raise crops in it to feed our animals. And this is an old lawnmower someone gave it. The starter doesn't work, but our little boy loves driving his tractor, so it's a yard ornament for right now. And this is my stanchion that I had built temporarily. So first I added this wall for a windbreak because the wind was just blowing through it. And then wind would still blow through it, so finally I added plastic and a piece of plywood for a door. So yeah, that was temporary, and here I am almost 3 years later. But it is handy having the cow right up here next to the house. I just milk her and just take the milk straight into the house. So So right inside this door here, the garage door, it's shut, is the feed. Then I just put it right over there into her little feed thing. This thing actually works really good, but I am looking forward to having a barn. So now we're all the way back around the house, and over there is a lean-to where we first started at. We walked all the way around, way down to that gully, which I don't know if the depth perception on the camera shows you. And we came up behind that building, around the house, back to right here. This is where we've been keeping our wood this year. When it stacked along the house here, we had it stacked almost all the way to the windows when we started this winter. It would stay dry if I just get some gutter put up there. I just haven't got around to that yet either. And then there's a nice cozy smoke coming out of the chimney. I don't know if you can see that with the white clouds in the background. Then we move it to the inside to the wood rack so it can dry for a bit before we start burning it. I almost forgot to show you where I'm building the root cellar. I started this fall. Man, there's water puddled up here. Some of this water drain out the pigs. Oh, goodness. Looks like the pigs dug themselves a wallow right there and made it pond up in here, but it's draining out now. So this fall, I had started building this root cellar. I ran out of time. So this needs to be dry and warm for the mortar to dry. But you can see here it's a thick, it's almost 2 feet thick on most of these walls. So it's taking a tremendous amount of rock. So now that I've got me a good foundation, I'm thinking in the spring I'll switch to a earth bag root cellar and just put that right on top of this rock. Because this took me 4 or 5 days, I think. At least 4 days just to get the rock up this high. And this wooden frame that you see here is just to tie a string to, tie it across to keep my walls straight. It's only 8 by 8, but it'll be a start. Then on top of it, I want to put a roof, or put the, once the roof is on, I want to build a smokehouse on top. That'll be facing, the door will be facing towards the house. Because right now we're just using the family smokehouse, which is like a 1/4 mile down the road. I'm glad we have it available, but it's, it'd be handier having it right here in our front yard. Wow. So there it is, bunch of half-finished projects, bunch of mess laying around. I know this video was different than normal, but in the winter it's hard to get projects done on my weekends with the nasty weather. So I'm trying to come up with ideas for videos. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching. God bless.